All right, guys, welcome to a brand new episode of SideQuest Podcast. Listen in and level up. I have a great episode for you today, but first, as always, let's get through the show notes. If you're not following the Facebook page, head over to Facebook, type SideQuest Fitness into the search bar, and like the page. There, you're going to get updates on podcast episodes, articles when they get posted, and you're going to get a brand new taco recipe every Tuesday for taco camp. Plus lots of other shenanigans and nerd talk throughout the week, so make sure you head over to Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram. My handle is SideQuestFM. If you want to see some cool videos and random stuff on Instagram as well, you can follow me on Instagram, same handle, SideQuestFM, or follow me on Snapchat, SideQuestFit. Follow me there. Send me your questions. I want to get all the questions from you, help you as much as I can on your fitness journey or your journey in life, whatever it may be. But head over to Snapchat, SideQuestFit. Follow me there. You get a little more personal, in-depth look at the shenanigans I get into throughout every day. But I do love getting questions from the community, so please send them out to me. If you have not left a review for the podcast, please head over to iTunes. If you're not listening on iTunes and you listen on SoundCloud or Stitcher, leave a review there as well. When you leave reviews, it helps me move up the charts on the iTunes store so that more people can see and hear the amazing guests that I've had on and have on each and every single week. So make sure you head over there. And don't forget, if you haven't picked up your copy of the 7 Principles of Fat Loss, head over to sidequestfitness.com/7 principles, and you can pick up your copy of the 7 Principles of Fat Loss. These are the same 7 principles I follow each and every day and teach my clients to help them shred away more body fat, unlock heroic strength, and just look better naked. So if you want to unlock strength or just look better naked in the mirror, head over again, grab those 7 principles of fat loss, and start following those today. Holy crap. I didn't realize this until I started to edit this podcast episode. 2 years. 2 years SideQuest Podcast has been putting out content on iTunes. Today is the 2-year anniversary of the first episode that went up with Charles Gross back in 2014. And I'm super stoked for everything that I put out over the last couple of years, for all the value, for all the guests, for all the shenanigans. And to celebrate, I have an episode filled full of shenanigans. My good friends Tanner Baze, Nick Sorrell, and Adam with 2 A's, so Adam Ali of physiqueonomics.com, join me for a brand new episode of Coach's Corner. But we're not talking fitness. We're talking life. We're not talking like philosophical stuff on like how to improve your life. We're talking about the awkward, funny moments that happen in life that no one really ever talks about. Like those times when you're at, say, a coffee shop and someone gets coffee and they spill their drink on the side of their cup, and then instead of wiping it with a napkin, you notice them licking it up with their tongue. And then they catch eyes with you and look at you like, yeah, so I just licked my cup. Or other awkward moments like the first time you and an ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend see each other in public. Do you hug? Do you shake hands? Do you smile? What happens? To even ridiculous things like the first time you buy condoms and you take them up to the counter and an old lady looks at you, or a younger person looks at you and gives you a wink, and you're like, great, thanks for making me feel awkward. All of the awkward things, the things that we laugh about or don't laugh about in life, are what we're talking about today. That's how we're going to celebrate 2 years. We're taking a break from fitness. We're going to talk some nerd stuff as well at the end. We talk about the superhero movies of 2016. But this episode of Coach's Corner is a fun one. Prepare to laugh. Don't have any water in your mouth while you listen to this. You may spit it out. But before we start, I want to say thank you to everyone who has listened since the beginning or has caught up and listened to everything thus far. Thank you so much. Thank you for the reviews that you have left online. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. And if you enjoy this episode, please share it with your friends. I would greatly appreciate that. Would love to grow the audience even more. But thank you guys so much. Thank you for sending in your questions for the community questions episodes. Thank you for sending me questions to answer throughout the podcast and whatnot. I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you so much for listening. and keeping this going. And I really enjoy putting these episodes out each and every week. All right, that's enough sentimental stuff. Let's get in. Let's get ready to laugh and listen to all of us guys talk about the most ridiculous moments in our life.
Step up and you gotta get it fitness. Host Rob at the moment and the quest is you gotta check it and wreck it. You're breaking personal records and with the help of the guests you won't be guessing on the lessons. That's a +5 fierce. Got a low-key bamf right here. You wanna meet them, there's no better way to greet them than to strike a boss pose. Take a look into the mirror.
Just an FYI, I've got like 40% left on my Mac, so if I cut off, tough shit.
Oh, that's why I'm getting through this. All right, guys, welcome to the show. We have a great Coach's Corner for you today. Told you we're going to change it up and do some more fun stuff. We're still going to talk fitness, but we're also going to have a few episodes where we just nerd out. And my good friends, Tanner Baze, Nick Sorrell, and Adam Ali with an extra A on the front. So it's like, dumb.
No. It's AA damn.
Adam. So if you've ever seen that Aaron sketch from
according to Roman.
So we were chatting on Facebook, and I was like, guys, let's do an episode on Star Wars. Let's geek out on that. And then Adam went on this weird random tangent telling a story about like those weird moments that we all go through but never talk about. And his was he was at, and I'm going to read the story real quick. So quote unquote, this is from Adam. You know when someone does something weird and you just happen to accidentally look over while they're doing this weird thing, and then they realize you're looking at them doing this weird thing, and there's this split second of pure awkwardness as they're looking at you and you're looking at them before you both look away? Well, this woman today at Starbucks poured too much milk into her coffee, and as she placed the lid onto her cup, it started leaking out. And instead of grabbing a tissue to wipe the spillage, she just full-blown licks the side of her cup. Like full extension of tongue licking action. I'm not going to lie, I have done that, and I have no qualms when it happens in public. I need all the milk, man. It's all the proteins.
Dude, you know what was so funny? Because I'm just there, like, really, really fervently, like, really getting to my writing, really getting this line written, and then, like, my Adam sense started tingling, and then I look over, and then it's just this awkward moment. And the funniest part was that the tissues were literally millimeters away from her, and she could have easily just used the tissue, but no, I don't know why, but yeah, it was one of those moments where she just thought her tongue would be a better, clean up tool.
You want to know what's weird, and how I know I live in Kentucky is that like that's exactly what I would expect to see, despite the tissues being right there. Like that sounds so normal to me.
Well, I mean, how many of us, like, as kids, like, didn't use a napkin? We just used our sleeves or, like, our hands to, like, wipe our mouths and still maybe sometimes do it in public.
But it wasn't even, you know what? The thing is, though, it wasn't the fact that she actually used the tongue. I mean, that was part of it. And to be honest, there's been times when, like, who hasn't used their tongue, like, to clean shit, right? Like,
you should have just left it there. Like, who hasn't used their tongue?
But the thing is, like, as she was in between cup lickage, our eyes met, and then there was just this weird moment where she's looking at me like sideways while her tongue's like sticking out. It was just, that's what made it really awkward. The fact that it was like this really, and when you're in the moment, it doesn't actually feel like a second. It feels a lot longer, right?
Yeah.
And now it just seems all romantic and shit. It's not.
Missed connection on Craigslist.
That would have been the perfect time to ask for her number if you wanted it.
Right?
Yeah.
So vulnerable, just could bam right in.
It's like, yeah. You can't see me, whoever's listening, but yeah. Anyways.
So that's what I wanted to talk about was weird random moments. I thought it'd be a fun show. And as Adam mentioned that, and I was like, okay, this is what we're doing for the show. All I could think about is like those times, and I'm going to talk about a little like working out stuff, like when you're in the gym and you have your headphones on, like you're squatting or you're Romanian deadlifting, and you bust ass, but you think it's like really silent because your music's jamming, and next thing you know, like someone's looking at you, and you're like, what? And you realize, oh, that was a lot louder.
Yeah.
I actually had like that happened to me fairly recently, kind of like, so at the gym I used to train at, there's like 3 big rooms primarily. And one's like a big functional training type room, one's like a cardio room, one's like a empty ass boot camp room. And for whatever reason, like it was one of those days where I just had the farts. I don't know if I ate some eggs that were just like bad or something. And I knew this one coming was about to be like the king. You know what I'm saying? Like it was about to go down. Like it was hot and sweaty down there. Yeah. So like, and it's like prime time hours. So I go into the one room, the boot camp room, and that's where I've been letting them out all day. So I go back there, and as soon as I walk in, like I couldn't hold it any longer. Like I was about to blow. As soon as I go in there, I just let it go. I'm like, relieved. And I look up, and right as I look up, this girl, another trainer's client, is like walking in with like these pair of gloves or something. She's like, "Hey Nick, blah blah." She like walks up, and right as she walks up, like the smell hits my nose, like literally as she walks up. And I'm trying, like, so I start doing that thing, like trying to walk, hoping she like organically follows me, but she doesn't. She just stays standing exactly where I was.
Just doing it.
So I'm like talking to her, and I'm like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And then right as I'm talking to her, a trainer brings his two clients, these two dudes in, and they walk in, and they're like 5 feet from us. So I talked to her, and she wanted me to like try out a pair of exercise gloves, which I didn't want to try out. But like, I just wanted her out of the fucking room so I could like end this moment, because I knew she smelled it. It was impossible not to. So she doesn't let on at all. So I get her gloves, like, oh, I'm so excited to use them. She leaves. As soon as she leaves, the two dudes that are working out the other trainer, they're like, "Dude, did you shit yourself while you were talking to her?" Because they could smell like 10 feet away, but she took it like a champ. So she also now knows my butthole.
I think you also
like.
Missed an opportunity to get her number, Nick.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an intimate moment. If you guys can share bodily smells with each other, she's a keeper. Like, she's not going to say anything, man.
Yeah. But then she forced exercise gloves on me, and that's not good. No. I don't know. It was a vulnerable moment.
Honestly, she deserves that for forcing exercise gloves on you.
That's true. I should have shit on her, but
yeah. So, because people who wear gloves are the bane.
It's getting fucking weird.
Yeah.
2 girls, 1 cup bullshit.
All right, so
dude, I was embarrassed for like weeks, but
bodily functions out of the way. What are some other like weird moments that like we all experience and never talk about?
Oh, dude! No, this is another gym one, but it's like a month or two back, and basically, so I'm squatting, and where they've set up the squat rack, there's like the mirror. There's like a giant, a bunch of mirrors and shit in the gym, and then I could directly see behind me, and as I'm finishing my set, because when you kind of you're squatting and you get in the zone, you kind of zone out of everything that's going on around you. So as I re-rack the barbell, there's just a dude randomly got his top off. Just randomly got his top off, and he's just bicep curling the shit out of those dumbbells. And the thing is, like, I don't know, because on YouTube you see a lot of people with the tops off, and it's like a normal thing. But in the UK, you can't do that stuff. Like in a commercial gym, you can't just have your top off, and it wasn't even
dude, in commercial gyms here, like you don't see that all that often. Yeah. So
it wasn't even like he was in shape. He wasn't even in shape. So that's what made it worse.
That's the best.
Because if he was in shape, you could be kind of whatever. He's a bit of an arrogant dick, yeah. But like he wasn't even in shape, so his level of wasn't even confidence to him. But
maybe he thought it was like just what you were supposed to do.
Yeah,
like I guess I just curl and get shirtless. I don't know.
And then the staff member came up to him and was like, "Yo, bro, you can't be doing that." And then he was, "What do you mean? What do you mean? I can take my top off. I can do what I want." It's like, "No, you can't. It's offensive to the members." And then he was like, he was angry for no reason. But I think he was putting on the anger just to like take away from the embarrassment, because he thought if he acted tough, everyone would be like, "Whoa, big guy." Yeah. But yeah, that was another weird one.
I'll tell you something weird I just noticed real quick is the fact that you refer to a shirt as a top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyways, I did notice that.
Yeah.
What you guys don't?
No, dude, it's just a shirt.
Yeah, and it's like how you Brits add extra letters into like words like color and.
Sometimes when I'm feeling fancy, sometimes I want to add that in there just so people think I'm exotic.
It makes your like writing like 10 times more intelligent if I add
like, oh man. Version.
Like, yeah, I just add the extra U in color. Just like,
Yeah, he must have studied in Canada for a couple months or something.
It's like if you're a news organization in America, if you just add someone with a British accent, immediately everything on that segment is 10 times more intelligent.
and true. Like, he could say the most absurd thing, and you, in your mind, consciously, your brain's like, this guy's chatting shit, but it's overridden by his accent. You're like, nope, this guy's honest. This guy,
Yeah, he must be onto something. Yeah,
literally, no way this guy would lie to me because he's got a British accent.
yeah.
It's like in other news, Godzilla just ran rampage in New York City.
So, you guys know who Andrew Garfield is, the actor that played in the last Spider-Man movies?
Yeah.
Okay, so like he's British or whatever.
Is he?
But yeah, you can't tell in the movies, which I always think is
British
cool.
or something.
Yeah, he's like whenever you hear him talk, like he's like uber got that accent. Well, I was watching an interview because I'm a productive human being. I was watching Andrew Garfield interviews, but like, he didn't move over there. Like, he was born in California. He didn't move there till he was 3. But his accent is so thick. So I think it's like so strange how you can not be something, move there, and just pick up an accent.
Well, but you're around that. I mean,
right.
My wife went to grad school in Scotland, and I mean,
did she come back with an accent?
She's also an actress and has done some voice work, but like she can go to a Scottish accent and brogue with like no problem. It's dead on perfect.
Yeah, and just on that, because I mean, especially with the online stuff, like a lot of my audience, even my friends, like you guys, like from America. So I've picked up a lot of the like vernacular, so to speak, like a lot of the terms and stuff I use. Like, I always say dope, which is not a British thing to say at all.
Oh, really?
Like, and now I call everyone dude. I'm like, hey, dude. And that's like, I remember the other day I was at the supermarket, and as I was getting my, as I was at the till checking out my shit, there was this old lady serving me, and she's like, oh, hello. And I'm just like, hey, dude. And she's like, and the thing is, I think I offended her because she was like, I'm not a dude.
Yeah. What?
I was like, yeah. I was like, no, I just call everyone dude. And she was like, oh, okay.
It's like you just view that as, now it's like morphed into like this gender neutral term that you
it's like, bro. It's like, yo, bro.
Literally, no joke, there was a girl at my work that like took offense to the fact that like I, without even thinking about it, like, 'cause I have other like trainers that I work with and stuff that are female that I call bro, and like they call me bro, and like, but this girl that I work with took offense to it and was like, I am not your bro. So don't call me that. And I was like, damn, seriously? Like, I was not even conscious of that. And
Change your dick.
Yeah, I do it all the time. I was just like, hey, dude. Hey, dude. Hey, dude. Hey, dude. It's like, just, hey.
That's really interesting. Because you never think about, like, I mean, obviously, you never think about, like, us using certain words that other places, like, just don't use that way, It's strange.
Yeah, like, for example, like, I'm hearing a lot of Americans use the slang term ting. That's like a Canadian thing. But,
ting?
like, Drake always says it. And I'm hearing, like, a lot of people now use that phrase, ting. Like, instead of thing, it's like a Jamaican thing.
It's
Jamaican.
a ting?
It's a ting. It's a ting,
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
It sounds like a...
Oh, give me the ting.
God damn it, Nick. Stop making me
I know.
have to go back
Dude,
and edit
as soon as I
things.
said that, I was like, you're going to have to bleep me out of it. Yeah. I think I hold the record for that, though. So.
Just making Robbie's life, like, exorbitantly harder.
I know.
Well, I just have to, I have to go in and be like, all right, where did Nick say that word that I have to edit out? And though I don't,
It's 35 minutes and 10 seconds.
Well, that's into the call, not into the actual recording. I'm not going to worry about it. All right, so Tanner, I think you had something you were going to say about weird moments that we never talk about.
Yeah, because Nick so rudely interrupted me.
Yeah, I got a problem.
Yeah, like waking up at noon.
Yeah, dude.
In the middle of a field.
No, not this time.
But the two of the ones that I think like everybody deals with, and we just like always, is one, when you're walking on the street and like, you might be like jamming, maybe listening to like, I don't know, some
Drake.
masterpiece from the 1990s, and
Drake.
and Like somebody is like coming towards you, and you both do this like little dance, deciding like which way you're gonna go. And
I'm so glad you mentioned this.
And you're like, like, and you wind up just like juking each other out. and to like, you know, like the way to handle that is just like you got to pick like your side like 50 feet out and
just commit to it. Like, just commit.
And like, just jump.
Even if it means that you're like up against the wall, like flat up against the wall, inching along, like that's just what you've got to do. And the other one is like when you meet somebody new, like now, like giving somebody like a bro fist when you meet has like become like this common thing, and which is like weird to me. But like I hate it when you go to like meet somebody or like say later to somebody or whatever, and like it's like y'all are not on the same wavelength. So one of you is like bro fisting and one of you is a handshake because you're a civilized human being. And so you just wind up like dude wrapping his hand around your fist.
It turns into like a match of like rock, paper, scissors.
Right. Yeah. Right. And it's the same thing. It's like, all right, you just need like your default. Like to me, like the way I look at like a bro fist is like, okay, cool. Somebody just set like a deadlift PR and they're like walking away and they're just like living in this like primal rush and you're just like, all right, cool. Good job, bro. Like pound.
Yeah, I think, you know what is though? I think there's like categories. Like for example, when I meet you guys, I would obviously, it's the whole bro hug thing, right?
Oh yeah. You just get a hug.
Like, because we get the hug?
Yeah. Cool. Not you, Nick, not you. But that's because we're cool, you know, we know each other, we're bros. But then it's like, if I meet someone else who I sort of maybe know, but not on that same level, I'll automatically go for a handshake because that's just what you do. But see, the thing is with me, I'll over-exaggerate the handshake so they kind of know that a handshake is coming. Like,
right. Like,
I would like, whoa. It's really over-animated. So then they 100% know that it's going to be a handshake.
Right.
And then they just, you know, just like...
Yeah, you commit from like...
You just, like 10 feet off, you see them across the room and you're already like that.
but even that, so going back to what Tanner said about like the dap and like the handshake, it was kind of awkward the first time I met Roman because like, I was like, do I go for the bro hug or do I go for like the business handshake? Like, hey,
what did he give you?
No,
he went for the bro hug and it was just awkward.
Yeah, that's what I expected for some reason.
No, I'm just gonna hug him. I've got the biggest man crush on that guy. I'm just gonna be straight up Roman.
Right.
I'm gonna hit him with the shirtless Stone Cold Stunner. You know what's worse than like the fist to handshake is like whenever people do like I don't even know how to like the like clap and then grab each other's hands and turn into like a hug and then you snap after the end and that shit.
Yeah, because you're trying to work out what they're doing and you're like feeling up their hand because like, does he want to shake my hand? Does he want a bro fist? Like, what's going on?
I feel like we're doing like hand hip hop or something like that. Like I can't be doing that.
There's a great video of Obama going into like the Oklahoma City Thunder locker room and like there's like 3 white guys and he's like handshake, 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 handshake. And as soon as he gets over to like Westbrook, it's like there's this it's like that. It's like Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff like doing their thing, and it's like, like you would never do that with someone else. But even when someone does that, you're kind of like, what? I don't. This is not my typical thing, which is sort of like where the hug thing came from. But I want to go back to Tanner's thing because I was thinking about the exact same thing, the dance you do when you're like walking down the street or like going in and out of a door. Have you ever done it long enough where like your next thought was like, I just want to deck you? Like the only way I'm getting around you right now is like if I just fucking give you a left hook.
Dude, yes, like that. Literally, that happens to me like every day of my life because I live right next to like a lot of people are just walking around, and like inevitably that takes place, and you're just like, I
think the last time I was with you,
instead of like sticking to my guns and going as far right as possible, I should have just speared you.
I would love to see a study on like why that happens and like if there's like a weird connection mental like between the people.
I actually read about this the other day. Like so like apparently like there's been studies like done on it or whatever. Like who the fuck knows how accurate they are, but like apparently like there's like it happens to everybody apparently, but like people that it happens to a lot more, like there's certain like things that they're more likely to be like, and the major ones like if you do it a lot, you're like super likely to be gay.
What? Were you listening to Dane Cook? What were you
Yeah.
with brown shoes and a crab? Like, what the fuck?
No, I just made all that up. I don't know. People like
Dude, I was literally
industry, so.
on Google right now. trying to get like references and stuff.
Yeah, like what kind of fucking studies are these? Like,
what are you reading?
Scholar, like,
yeah, no, dude. Anytime someone asks me for a study, I just want to send them like a dick pic. Like, I cannot like. I almost have like this innate thing where if someone like shares a study, like I don't even want to be friends with that person anymore.
I've shared studies.
Yeah, well, that's why we're not friends, Adam.
Fuck you, Nick.
All right, so some other weird moments. One I was just thinking of is like when you go to the bar and you order the same, like you got two different bartenders and you get like the same thing and you're not really paying attention, and then like someone goes to grab your drink and you go to grab the other one, like they sort of get crisscrossed.
Ooh, I've never had that happen.
That's like you know when you order coffee at Starbucks, and then you're like, and obviously it gets busy, and then the barista will just leave the drink on the counter, like just fucking take your shit. But there's like 3 different cups, and you're like, okay, well you haven't written my name on here, so. And then you're reaching for it. Hey, dude, is this your drink? It's like, I don't know, man. Is it your drink? It's like, yo, this is my drink. Yeah. That was a lot funnier in my head for some reason.
It was pretty funny.
You're essentially playing like espresso roulette.
Yeah.
Do you tell them to spell your name with 2 A's?
Yeah. No, dude, that's actually, it's funny you said that because I did that the other day for the first time because they've got like new people working at my Starbucks now. Clearly, the retention rate in the coffee industry is just as bad as the fitness industry. But so I'm like, hey, she's like, yeah, what's your name? I'm like, Adam with 2 A's. And she's like, she gave me this look like I really don't give a fuck. Like, I just don't care. You double A dick.
Yeah.
She's like, her face was just like, yeah, so what? And then she still wrote it 1A, so.
It's like me when I say it's Robbie IE, not with a Y. And I'm like, yeah, IE is my name. Spell it with a Y. It's some other dick named Robbie. Like, no, that's not me. I was thinking of one that is sort of a weird moment. Probably not anymore because we're all past that. But like the first time that you go and buy condoms.
Oh,
like
man,
that because like
so true.
you walk up and either two things happen. Either you walk up with like complete confidence and you don't even give a fuck, or you walk up and then like you meet eyes with the person behind the counter and their reaction is what makes you feel really fucking awkward because either it's an old lady who's judging you and your choices, or it's like a younger middle-aged person who's like, yeah, bro, yeah, getting some pussy.
Dude, that's why I always use Amazon.
Hey, can I give you a hug?
I always use Amazon for that exact reason. Like, do you know how many
you buy condoms on Amazon?
Yeah,
you can buy everything on Amazon pretty much.
Amazon,
well,
dude,
I know you can, but I didn't know.
Do you know how many awkward situations Amazon has prevented so many awkward situations in life?
All right, name 3 things you buy on Amazon right now that avoid awkward situations because I want to know this.
Oh, fuck. I can't think of anything.
What was the reason he buys on Amazon? So no one knows.
Shampoo, like, I don't know. I've got a theory, but have you ever seen a guy buy shampoo at the supermarket? Because I haven't.
I mean, conditioner.
Yeah, but I don't know. I've never seen a guy like actually.
I do.
No,
yeah.
But like, if I see a guy buy shampoo, it's usually like dandruff shampoo because you feel like that's like you can't buy the smelly shit, or you just.
I totally disagree with this.
I personally have never seen.
Have you never bought shampoo yourself?
Amazon. I'm telling you, it's just everything.
But what is so awkward about buying that? Now I've had to buy dandruff because I have dry scalp dandruff issues that for the longest time.
Yeah.
But like that's
I love how Nick just agreed with you. Like, yeah.
But like why is that awkward to you?
I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know. Maybe you have some deep rooted issues that I need to take care of. I don't know.
What are some other things you avoid or you buy on Amazon to avoid these awkward situations?
I can't think of anything now.
All right. Well, while Adam is thinking,
That's annoying me. Like, let me go back on my Amazon.
there you go. Go through your list. Anyone
Wish
else
list.
have any? All right. Have you ever bought a book that like you were sort of embarrassed to buy?
Who, me?
Like,
I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking about things here, like because the condom thing came up because obviously it's happened to everyone. I guess another. Well, I don't know.
I'll tell you what. I'm sure you guys at some point have probably had to, like. I've never been embarrassed about condoms. Like whenever the very first time I ever did it, I felt like proud, and then after that, it was like nothing. Have you ever had to buy tampons for a girl?
Yeah,
that is the weirdest shit, and I haven't. It shouldn't be like obviously it's not for me, but for some reason it still feels fucking weird. There's always like some old lady that like makes a comment or something like that, like that's so nice of you or something like that.
See, that one never weirded me out because that one was just like. It's like this obvious, like, well, I can't use this. So
or, yeah, it's just like a weird situation. Like
on that like awkward, like the comments people make. Have you ever like this happened to me a few weeks back? Like this was during my stint when actually it wasn't a few weeks back. It was during the time when I was like strictly keto. So obviously, due to the nature of the diet, I'm gonna be eating a lot of vegetables and quote unquote healthy foods, and then. So my basket's like full of all these vegetables and shit. And then as I go to the counter, the dude's like, he's an Indian guy as well. He's like, oh, somebody is trying to eat healthy, eh? And I was like, and I was just like, yeah, I am. Like, I didn't really say that, but I was like, yeah, bro. Yeah. You know, that awkward thing. It's like, yeah.
Well, yeah, so even in that same
those
vein,
situations suck where you have to do like the fake laugh.
Yeah, and then he was like, oh, so you go to the gym? And I was like, where is this going? Like, yeah, I did, what the fuck? And then he saw the monster, the monster drinks, the monster zero.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, that's got so much sugar in it. And I was like, yeah, it's a monster zero. It's got no sugar in it. And he was like, oh, is that right? And he never knew. Like it blew his mind that there was no sugar in this drink. But yeah, he would make those snarky comments about. Like, oh, you're trying to be healthy.
You know what sucks is like whenever you're like that Monster Zero situation, like whenever like someone like because you're in fitness, everybody thinks you know everything about fitness, so they ask these questions to make you feel important or something. I don't know, but like people are like, oh yeah, like so Diet Coke's pretty bad, huh? And you're like in your head, like you're like, no, not really. So you tell them that, and they're like, oh, well, yeah, it is. It's just as bad as regular Coke, and you're like, no, and then it turns into like this weird like. What was supposed to be like some kind of weird compliment turns into like this weird dispute when they don't even know what they're talking about, but you don't want to argue because it's not even a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, but in your head, you're like raging because you want to be like,
right.
I promise,
so I had one of those situations with Monster where some lady was like working. She's a nurse and was like, oh, well, I saw someone come in after like, drinking one of these energy drinks with Jaeger in it or something, and I'm like, well, that's probably the issue. And not the energy drink, because like 4 Monsters has as much caffeine as 1 cup of the Starbucks that you buy every morning. And the look on her face was like, what? And I'm like, yeah, like the 0-calorie Monsters, a lot less caffeine than coffee. So like it's not the Monster that put the guy in the hospital. It's the combined effect of an upper and a downer, and the fact that Jaeger makes you want to turn it into a crazy, dramatic, ancient warrior.
Yeah, it's like when people take
it kills you.
Yeah, it's like when people take like pre-workouts. Like do you remember Jack 3D or what the fuck it's called? And
Yeah,
it's like,
I worked at GNC whenever the original Jack 3D was out.
Yeah, and like where people like the guy who apparently died from taking it. He was taking like all sorts of party drugs and everything, and it was like, nope, it's definitely the pre-workout that killed him. Like, no offense to the dude, I'm sure but I'm just saying, don't do drugs because you're bad.
Oh man, yeah, those are, and so going back to like Adam, the guy at the supermarket, it happens as well like family when they're like, oh wait, you're gonna eat that?
Yeah.
You're gonna,
Yes.
and then you're like,
Oh,
and then
man.
it gets even, because then like you don't know what to say because you're like, well, yeah, because like 90% of the time I don't eat this stuff. Like, and
Yeah,
then you feel awkward. Yeah.
I remember the first time I started, because back in the day, I was very like, I was one of those clean eating motherfuckers. And I was just literally like, no, I can't eat anything apart from like clean foods because health and fitness, and I'll die and shit. So I remember the first time I found like If Official Macros, and I started, back in like 2013 or some shit. And I remember I found it, and then obviously your family's seen you like eating all this, quote unquote clean foods and healthy foods for like so many years now, and then you're eating like all this quote unquote crap now, and it was like, what? Are you allowed to eat that? And you're like,
Yeah.
Yep, I am, and I didn't know myself until a few weeks back. So hey, we're both just surprise each other.
The first question my mother-in-law asks me almost every single time, and I'll get it in a few weeks, is, "Are you still eating Ben and Jerry's?" Because there's a pint in the freezer, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I still eat Ben and Jerry's. I don't want to explain to you how I have to fit it in, but
So I don't think anyone's ever stopped eating Ben and Jerry's watching this. Yeah.
yeah.
No one's ever gone, I'm just going to stop eating ice cream. Actually, no, that's a lie, because I have. I was one of those. So I'm just going to shut up now.
It's about time. I tell you what, in high school, I had, and you see this in movies. I'm going to see if you guys have ever had it. I feel you guys probably have. I don't know. But like, so I had this crush. I was probably like a sophomore, which is like, I don't know what the fuck you guys call it in Britain, but but there was this girl that was like a year or two older than me that I had a huge crush on. She was like my best friend's older sister. It's weird how that works. And she's like walking towards me, and I'm walking towards her. We're like in the lobby of the high school, and she looks up and she waves. And you guys probably see where this is going now. So I look up and I wave back. And I swear to God, like 5 feet directly behind me is like some other dude like waving. And what makes it worse is even though I'm friends with her, like she disregards the entire situation. Like she didn't just see me like awkwardly wave at her. And so I just like walk away. And it's like one of those situations, because I liked her and I was young, that like I like hated myself for like a week. Like you just keep replaying the moment in your head, like
I was a jackass.
Yeah, like looking for signs and stuff.
Such an
But what if, but Nick, what if behind her there was someone else who thought you were waving to them and didn't wave back, and they felt awkward because they didn't acknowledge you?
There wasn't, because the only thing behind her was my despair.
How
So
it's the worst when it's in public as well. Like, it's a packed, like just super packed, and you think you see someone that you know, but you don't really know that person. But you wave, and they're looking at you like, "The fuck are you? What the fuck are you doing?"
Yo, okay, I've got a good one. This one just popped into my head. A really good one is, so when you've been dating somebody and then you're like, you'll break it off, you're done, whatever. It could be like super ugly. It could be like really amicable, whatever. But then out in public at a random point, you run into them. Like it could be a couple of months later. It could be like a week later. It could be like a year down the road. That like first running into each other is always like just filled with awkwardness.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. Do you like handshake? Do you hug? Like goes back. Like because like I used to put my penis in you. You hug. Okay. Like do I like pat you on the back when we hug? Like is that or is it just like a quick hey, how you doing? Like how long do you like hang on to the hug because you don't want it to feel awkward that like you still think about them? And
no, dude, I just split up with a girl like we had been on again, off again, and like we have like lives that like have us in the same places a whole lot. And every time I go to a place where she might be, I'm like paranoid the entire fucking time, because I already know it's going to happen eventually. We're going to run into each other, and I am dreading that so much. Yeah, like
see me in that situation. I just pretend that I just act like they're dead. Like, not dead. That came out a lot more
You're savage. That's awful.
I just
No,
don't.
that's awesome.
I just
That's
don't.
what I'm gonna do if I see her. Like,
I just
fuck, I
don't
thought you were
care.
dead.
I just don't care. I just want to pay. Like it's literally like I don't know that person anymore. So, and if they can't, hey man, I'm like, what up?
Oh man,
But I'll just act like I just don't give a fuck.
You know, I'm gonna say it here because it's funny, and I know they don't listen. If they do, I'm sorry for this story, but it totally happened in college, and yes, you were targeted. So first girl I fell in love with, of course, broke my heart because I'm a hopeless romantic. And at the first party of the year, my junior year, she's like sitting on the porch making out with like her new boyfriend or whatever. And my boy, like, I saw it, and like my boy was right there, and I was just like, I was pissed or whatever because I have a feeling I had this. That guy had sort of broke us up or whatever. And my boy goes over there and starts talking to someone who's like right there beside him. They're like right under him, and all of a sudden he's just like, "Oh damn! Oh, I spilled my beer, guys!" And he had literally just poured it right on top of them, just like in the conversation, like he was just doing nothing, like he was just throwing his beer, like he was talking, and just like spraying them with beer, and then finally just like finished it. So that was a little bit of an awkward situation.
That's a good friend.
Yeah,
dude, that's a great friend.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a ballsy friend, but that's a good one.
Yeah. That friend making that move had to know, like, all right, if this dude gets angry because of this action that I've just taken, I can whoop his ass. I'm all right.
Dude, first off,
you don't make that move unless you're like, you know what? I can whoop your ass.
He was the one Tanner I was telling you about, like his senior thesis. He convinced his advisor that he wanted to do his thesis on Gonzo style journalism, and wrote about me and two of my friends tripping shrooms, and then like wrote about quitting like Blockbuster, and like it was the most. He literally looked at me and he goes, "Dude, I could convince my advisor to let me major in like Game Boy." He was like, "I know I could like come up with a thesis for how it would apply." And like that's what I could spend my senior year doing. It was the most ridiculous thing.
And what's his name?
His name's Nick.
Yeah.
You just wanted that pleasure of knowing that his name was your name.
Okay,
Nick with
I've
two
got
N's.
another good one that I don't know if everybody experiences, but I know like I have experienced, and most anybody who has like been any sort of like adventurous or whatever, going to a store to buy like sex toys for the first time.
Yes.
I've never done that.
I've never done it either.
That is an interesting experience.
Yep.
That is like a highly
Amazon.
interesting experience.
Well, what's even more?
No, that's totally one. But dude, I'm telling you, like, you want to be able to get like a good look and like an idea of like, all right, do I really want this? Do I really want that? Like, there are a lot of factors to consider, like when perusing. And
Great word.
man, the first time, the very first time I went in, I was like, whoa. Like,
yeah, those
didn't
places
even know
are
shit existed.
crazy.
Well, and then you have the weird, like, older guys who make everything awkward. Like, and you don't want it to be awkward,
Right.
but there's
Right.
giant, like, 16-inch black dildos hanging around. There's, like,
there's no need for that. It's literally that's not even a toy anymore. That's like
It's
a
like an
weapon.
amusement park ride or something like that.
That's a weapon now. Like, come on.
yeah, but there's just,
Have you ever
all
noticed,
these-
like, because there's always like a big DVD wall of pornos
Yes.
in the two that I've been in, and like the names of them are always like something
Are
outrageous,
awful.
like
Like,
fatties out the back door. But not only that, it's like fatties out the back door 18. Like, were the first 17 that popular that they demanded an 18th? You know, like.
Or
They
instead
had like a revolution just to get
instead
the
of, like, the Hobbit, it's like the Chubbit or something. Like, it's like a play on words.
Yes.
It's like a sexual, like... And you can't help but laugh. But then you have to worry that, like, I'm laughing, so everyone's going to think I'm immature. And you're like, no, Harry Twatter and the, like, Chamber of, like, Secretion is a hilarious title. Why would I not want to watch this? And you're laughing at it, and then you're like, oh, fuck, I'm that immature dick bag. And all the girls up front think I'm just a fucking, like, 16-year-old kid.
Well,
Not from personal experience.
I'm not sure the girls at the
Not-
front of the porno store are the girls you want to be picking up anyway, you know?
Yeah, you never know.
I don't know, man. I
Yeah.
might beg to
Yeah.
differ.
There
Yeah,
I
are
might
some-
like seriously beg to differ.
Yeah.
Like,
Really?
Yes.
yeah, dude. Let's think about where they're hanging out. Like, there's a lot of
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
interesting things that you could get into there. So,
What's like the
I mean, it
over under
just
on like
depends on
do what?
Hey man, don't knock it until you try it.
yeah, it just
Yeah,
all
that's
depends on
true.
like what you're looking for. You know,
The slight
like
irony right now is someone is listening to this and they're like, "Well, this is one of those weird moments that like I don't want to talk about." I'm like, I'm sitting here feeling weirded out.
Yeah.
There's probably some kid listening to
Yeah.
it, like 6 years old, and just like, he told me it was going to be about Mario, and
Yeah, video games and no, talk about
there's British dudes on
16-inch
here.
black dildo weapon.
It was like, just blame the British dude. Since he came on here, everything's going weird.
What else is new?
Oh, so one other weird one I thought about, and then we'll sort of wrap up because I want to go into a few minutes talking about Suicide Squad because I just got to watch it last night.
Ooh, okay.
One other weird moment, and I know I probably experienced it, Adam, when you've been to London and whatnot. Tanner, you probably experienced it maybe on the MARTA. Is being on like a public train system when like it's crowded as fuck and like the train jostles one way or the other, and you accidentally like hit someone's ass or bump into their, and like they look at you like you did it on purpose, and you're like, what the no,
Yeah.
like, and then
Yeah,
an argument starts, and you're like, what the fuck?
yeah, they're like, yo, get off. Like, hey, man, like, watch it. And you're just like, are we for real right now?
Yeah, bro, did you not see the thing? We're on a train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's packed.
Did you not
just-
see the entire
I'm
fucking
sorry.
thing rim
Yeah.
like jump 2 feet in the air?
Yeah, exactly. Like, did you
Yeah.
not just see what happened? Like, did you really?
You just lived it, dude.
Yeah, exactly. You were here. You were right here when it happened, and I was right here. Don't act like you weren't here.
I was standing here still. You're the one that bumped into me. You're
Yeah, it's, like, it's not
jumped
like
into
I
my hand.
teleported. Exactly. It's not like I just teleported out of nowhere just to touch. You know, it's like you were witness to what just happened. Like, don't make this.
Yeah, don't
weird
put this on me. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just as much as your fault as it is my fault. Like, let's chill. Everyone just chill. But yeah,
Cool. Any other awkward moments anyone can think of, like weird things that we never talk about?
I was in a gas station like last week or the week before, and it was like downtown, like inner city Louisville, like ghetto area, which are not fun gas stations to be in because it's always fucking awkward in a like scary way, you know. And I'm walking up to like the cash register. There's this like ginormous black man in front of me, like huge, and he walks by and like. I think we're going to do like that because it's like a tight squeeze, like there's like railing or something. And I think we're going to do like that turn sideways kind of thing. Well, he just like lowers his shoulder on my ass and like plows me against the fucking railing. So I'm like, at the point, I'm like, and like, have you ever like been like ran into by somebody and you instantly know that they're stronger than you are?
yeah.
Like
Oh,
it was one
yeah.
of those
Yeah.
moments. Like if he got mad, I'm helpless. Like I'm not going to be able to do shit. My deadlifts fuck that shit. So I'll go up to the register and like I'm trying to play it off like I didn't even notice it. Like I just got trucked. And I'm paying, and he comes back up and he's pissed off because he can't have a cup for free, like a plastic cup. And as he goes to leave, I know it's gonna happen again. That he's gonna like bump into me because he's just trying to be like a dickhead. So I got sturdy myself, and he bumps me again and pins me against the railing. And there's like this weird like talk between me and this like Arab gas station guy. Like he's like. Well, he was mad. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I was like his fucking victim, you know, for like 30 seconds. So, it's my gas station story.
All right. Well, if no one's got anything else, let's wrap it up and talk a little Suicide Squad.
Okay.
I have to agree with Roman when he said Will Smith was Will Smithing all over the place.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
bro. Oh, man, I love that film, man. I thought that film was epic.
Harley
In
Quinn
terms
was
of, like-
awesome. Margot
terms of,
Robbie
like-
was amazing.
Oh, dude, yeah, she definitely like
Yeah.
because everyone thought that they were just going to use it for like eye candy sort of thing, like you know how like Megan Fox and like Transformers.
Yeah.
But no, man, really, he was really good in that role.
Yeah.
But no, I mean like the Will Smith thing. I don't know, man. Like that's Will Smith. That's the way. I think he really did that. You know, I don't know about doing the character justice because Deadshot's a bit.
Boring.
Yeah, but I mean, like, because it was Will Smith, and there was a bit of humor there, and it was like all serious and whatnot. But yeah,
What's
I
the
mean,
thing,
I
like,
enjoyed it.
I think we wrote that like in the group message, like yeah, he was definitely Will Smithing around, but like that's why I watch Will Smith movies, is to watch him walk around in Will Smith.
That's like,
so like
he has
I
that
was
star value.
cool with
Like
it.
you will watch a film just because Will Smith's in it. Well,
yeah,
I would.
he's never been in a bad one.
Yeah.
I still haven't seen the concussion movie that he did, where he actually sort of like goes out and
It's good.
takes on like an actual character. I mean, that is one thing that sort of bugs me about some people. Like, I saw the preview for Magnificent Seven, and I don't think we need to redo that movie. The original is just as good, and I love Chris Pratt, but I'm like, even Chris Pratt is getting to where it's like he's just Chris Pratting around. Like,
yeah, that's true. Actually,
he's and I say that, and then I think back and I'm like, well, Steve Martin kind of Steve Martined around, Chevy Chased around, like, like everyone sort of like Will Ferrell for the longest time. Will Ferrelled around, and we all loved him.
I do think there's like a little bit of a difference between like serious actors, like drama actors or whatever, and like comedy.
Yeah, well, that's why. I mean, I love Paul Rudd. I think he's very versatile, and even he does sort of Paul Rudd things, but he's so like there's just something. I don't know. I don't know. I just want to be Paul Rudd. The end.
I don't really know how to feel about Jared Leto.
I liked his because the thing is that, come on, everyone's gonna try and compare him to Heath Ledger.
Well, not even that. You can't even. They're like different characters. Like even though they're both the Joker, they're not the same character.
It's like comparing Heath Ledger to Jack Nicholson.
Exactly.
You're one. Tim Burton is different than what they did with the Dark Knight series. Totally different. Now there is a theory online that I really, really did like, and I know it's been around that supposedly Jared Leto is Robin.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But the theory was that no one knows where the Joker is because the real Joker tortured Robin, and so like tortures him. Which, if you played Batman Arkham, not Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight, you find out that Arkham Knight is him. So I thought that would be kind of a cool thing, and that the real Joker is still out there, having the old Robin run around as the Joker instead. So like Joker turns him into the Joker to fuck with Batman, and now like he's just out doing his own thing. Which I think
that's one of those theories that's like that should happen, and it's really cool, but it just won't. Like,
well, I mean,
movies just don't get that complicated.
Affleck says he is writing, this Batman film, and they're trying to do like Marvel and tie Suicide Squad in with, Justice League. Overall, I mean, it was what it was. It's a fucking hero action movie. Like, I had a conversation with a friend of mine about Civil War, and he made a good point. He was like, "Why were Cap and Iron Man fighting? Like, that was fucking stupid." He was like, if you really think about it, like, there was no need for that. Like, there's so much of that was just story-wise not really needed. Fine, all right, whatever. Like, I get that.
I think it's a shit argument. Go on.
Well, there were no stakes to it. There really were no stakes. Like, you're fighting over the fact that, like, okay, the Winter Soldier killed your parents. Like, in the comics, there were some high stakes. They're really, like, they were sort of missing that in the film. So I was like,
but the thing is, I think the thing with the comics is, you can kind of see why they did it in the movies, because it's very easy because the fact that they would need Iron Man and Captain America and everyone for the Infinity War movies, they're going to need all of them there. So it's like, if they did it just like comics, and I don't want to say anything just in case it ruins it for someone, but it's because the comics were quite dark compared to the actual film in terms of the stuff that happened, right? And I think that if they had gone along with the actual comic, stuck to it as as canon as possible, the way that they ended Civil War would have meant that there would have been discrepancy between the characters that would be coming back in Infinity War, and that would have made Infinity War suck from just a fan enjoyment, etc. Even just like people who aren't really fans and stuff.
Yeah, and there's still a part of me that thinks Kevin Feige has this whole thing planned out in his head, and it's just when it all ends, we're all going to be like, "Oh shit!" Like I get it, and this is fucking genius,
dude. The Thor film looks epic, man.
It does.
I cannot wait.
That's what I thought. Is that I would have loved for Cap to have died at the end of Civil War, as he did in the comics, and it would have been awesome if Ragnarok had happened before Civil War, so that they essentially could have killed Thor, which is why it's called Ragnarok. He won't.
Well,
die.
they send him to like another dimension or something, don't they?
Yeah, supposedly it's going to be actually Ragnarok is basically going to be like Planet Hulk. Like it's going to be a combination of Planet Hulk and
yeah, it's gonna be sick.
Yeah. So
I tell you what,
again,
looks
I think it's all
badass
going to change your Doctor Strange.
Go ahead. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, Doctor Strange looks so good.
Yeah, I think that's where we're finding like this is going to be like that turning point where you start to be like, okay, now I see how they're bringing Thanos in. Now I see how they're combining all of this. I think that will be interesting. Where they go from here with everything that like Marvel's trying to do. I
think they start to like blend into like the next. So like they go into like the Infinity Wars, which I think is going to be like the end of the first Avengers or whatever. And they start bringing in like the new characters like Captain Marvel or whatever her name is, and Doctor Strange and Spider-Man and people like that. And then they bring on this like new phase or whatever. Like,
yeah, well, there's some new Avengers like that. There's a lot of stuff they can do, and they're doing that with TV with like the Defenders and now possibly the new Warriors and fucking Squirrel Girl. There are some fucking superheroes out there in both DC and Marvel that I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, really, why?
But you wonder why people made them?
Yeah, it's just like, what were you even like, yeah, like there's some characters you're like, really? Like, is this the like pinnacle of your creativity? Like,
like she's a mutant who can control squirrel.
Yeah.
Whose 6-year-old daughter came up with this? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like the comic guy went home to draw something which is a lot better, and then his daughter just decided to fuck with the script, and then no one. It's like it just went under the radar at Marvel or whatever, and everyone was like, yeah, okay, that's cool.
I say
like he replaced his drawing of a superhero like with her picture of like a squirrel girl, and he got there and because he didn't want to admit that he made a mistake, he just like ran with it. And now all of a sudden there's a Squirrel Girl superhero that accidentally got made.
Yeah, exactly.
I say that in when you said that, Adam, that the comic guy goes home, my first thought was, well, it worked for the Beatles with Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. So I guess it can work in other mediums as well. So no, I did. I enjoyed Suicide Squad for what it was. I wasn't
that's what I was
super
say.
sold on Will Smith. I wasn't super sold on Killer Croc. Was like they should have just not even had him in there.
Yeah,
like
dude.
Such a great character that like they could have.
That was that. I'm glad you said because I'd actually kind of forgotten about that. Like, I legitimately like did not like even hearing him talk. I don't know, like I don't know what it was, but every time he talked, I was like, this like it's supposed to be funny or like whatever. Like it was terrible every time he talked.
I just felt like they threw him away. Like I don't think he should have. He was only there to be there, so that like they didn't piss fans off.
But you know what? Though? I think the big thing for me is that when I'm watching a superhero movie, the biggest thing is like as I'm watching it, am I actually enjoying this film? Like, and again, people go, it's all subjective and enjoyment, and whatever. But I don't really, when it comes to like superhero films to a certain degree, I don't really get like all layers and deep and shit. It's like, did I enjoy this film? Did I leave the cinema feeling satisfied? It's like, yeah. And that's really all like the way I look at it. It's like Batman vs Superman. A lot of critics were saying, it was this and it was that. That's fine, and I can understand why they said that. But at the same time, when I left Batman vs Superman, I was like, I actually really enjoyed this film. I enjoyed watching it. It was a good experience. Same thing with Civil War. Apart from the fact that Civil War, the comic is the comic arc, so to speak, the story arc, even is one of my favorite arcs in the whole of the Marvel universe. I really enjoyed that film. Like, it was just back-to-back action, the characters, everything was just, for me, perfect. And that's why when I left that movie, I was like, you feel satisfied. It's like when you have a really tasty meal, you're like I'm not a freaking restaurant connoisseur or food connoisseur. I just, did I like this food? Was it palatable to my tongue? It's like, yeah. It's like, yeah. So it was a good meal. And that's the way that I saw Suicide Squad. I mean, it was, there was bits in there that didn't really need to be in there, and there were some bits that, you can sort of be like, why it's a bit crap, whatever. But overall, I really enjoyed that film, and in terms of like all the superhero films that have come out this year, I still think that Suicide Squad is in my top 3.
I think it's the best DC one so far.
Yeah, I mean, my top 3 superhero movies so far, Civil War is number 1, Deadpool will be number 2, and then
there's Deadpool.
And Suicide Squad will be number 3.
I'm gonna say right now, I think Deadpool was better than Civil War, but that's just because they nailed the character so.
Oh yeah.
I love Civil War, but fucking Deadpool, like. I've always loved Ryan Reynolds, like in everything he's ever done since Van Wilder, like fucking
do you remember last year when I put out that status saying that Deadpool is going to be the best superhero film of the year, regardless of all the other heavy hitters?
I knew. I had no worries that it wouldn't be, because it wasn't done by Marvel, which is owned by Disney, who would want to like dumb it down a little bit, like, and that's the big, like, that's why I don't think, a lot of people were really pissed off about Mandarin, that he wasn't, the villain that they wanted him to be. Yeah, because they can't market that movie in the second biggest market in the world, because you can't make, like, you just can't do that. Like, they're not going to want to watch it. They're not, like, it's not going to fly. But overall, not horrible. I won't buy it on Blu-ray or anything. But it will be interesting to see where DC goes with.
I hope they start doing better. Like I've liked all their movies, but like I feel like that, like, it's one of those, like, it's impossible not to like seeing Batman and Superman like beat the shit out of each other, like, just from like nostalgia sake. But like I hope they do like keep progressing. You know what I'm saying? Because like every Marvel movie I watch, like, is awesome, right? And it's, even though you shouldn't compare them, like, it's hard not to. So I do hope that they turn it up, Yeah,
I'm not too sure about. I don't even know. Like, everyone's like, even Justice League. I mean, I'm not too sure, man. I think the Flash will be pretty good because of his personality and the way Flash is. But
yeah,
I don't know. I'm not too convinced that it's going to be all that. But hey, who knows?
I think Aquaman looks cool, Yeah.
But every time I see Aquaman, all I see is
Khal Drogo.
Yeah, that's all I see. That's all I see when I see. It's even like the makeup and stuff is pretty similar to Khal Drogo's.
Yeah.
So every time I'm only watching Aquaman, I also see Khal Drogo controlling fish.
All I'm going to be thinking is, where's Daenerys? Where's the mother of dragons? Get the fuck out of here!
It's not going to be any different.
Yeah, I spend my entire life wondering that. So
yeah, I wonder where she is right now.
She's definitely on the field, Nick.
We're coming up on an hour. I have enjoyed this chat of some random stuff, and then getting in the Suicide Squad. Who knows what we'll talk about in November? We'll see. Maybe we'll do some fitness stuff. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But anyways, guys, we'll see you next time on Coach's Corner. Adam, Nick, and Tanner, thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks, bro.
Step up and you gotta get it fitness. Host Rob at the moment, and the quest is you gotta check it and wreck it. You're breaking personal records, and with the help of the guests, you won't be guessing on the lessons. That's a +5 fierce. Got a low-key bamf right here. You wanna meet him, there's no better way to greet him than to strike a boss pose. Take a look into the mirror.